We're good.
Okay, I call this meeting to order at 6:30 p.m. Today is June 15th, and let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just for the record, this is the Select Board meeting. Do we have anyone sign up for public comment tonight?
No.
We do not. Anyone online? As a reminder, public comment's the opportunity to speak without an appointment for up to 3 minutes.
I don't see any hands raised.
Okay. All right, then, do we have any documents to be signed?
We have minutes from May 18th, all present.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of May 18th.
Second?
Okay, so we have a motion to approve. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And anyone opposed? No, and no abstentions. Okay, so it passes 4-0. And straight onto the agenda. We have several appointments tonight. Thank you all for being here. It's lovely to see everyone and to get to hear from you. Let's get started right away. We have our new Veteran Service Agent, Dustin Ruby, here to speak, and we're thrilled to see you. Come on up into the chair of privilege. Hi.
Hello.
Hi, so it's nice to meet you. I think we all had the opportunity to meet you at the ceremony you did for Memorial Day, which was wonderful. Thank you so much. So tell us a little bit about, what you'd like to share, about who you are, your plans, and I know we also have an item for you to discuss about the advisory board.
Yeah, sure. So I took over for Charlie Roque Oliva as of April, who moved over to the state. I did start kind of immediately working with some of the veterans, both veterans that I had already been working with in my previous position, and then some veterans that have been waiting since the transition time. So just kind of taking up where Charlie took off. She was doing a great job, and so I'm just trying to look to fill her shoes as best I can. As far as Memorial Day, that was kind of a quick get-together. Normally, we plan for those kind of events about 2 or 3 months out. So everything went fairly smoothly. I appreciate all of your participation. Nicole Miner, you were there giving our speaking, and John, with your assistance that you gave, was very helpful. I'm a big fan of cooperation and working together with different departments and just trying to get other people involved. We had a lot of involvement from the school. We got some students that participated, so that was really, really good. And that's kind of my goal, is to make sure that whatever we're doing, there's a lot of transparency, a lot of visibility, and that veterans are getting the treatment that they deserve.
Thank you, and it's much needed, so thank you for being here. Yeah, go
I have
ahead.
a question about since you're here.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. Do the veteran services, do you typically, do outreach to all veterans in town, or do you, wait for them to come to you? I'm just curious how that works.
I would say it depends on my availability of time.
Sure.
If I'm swamped kind of in the office with veterans coming in, I do have a lot of walk-ins coming in currently and a lot of veterans that were waiting. So I am taking care of those, but I am trying to do a mix of outreach, only because I want to make sure we're reaching all the veterans in town. So if there's anybody that isn't seeing us, we do try to participate in different events. One of the events we just did was a Veterans Lunch in West Springfield. We were able to work with the Senior Center to get the van chartered for that. And we brought, I think, 5 veterans from Belchertown came and got to enjoy a free lunch and some resources, so that was really helpful. So I like to do a little mix of each.
Cool. Thank you.
Anyone else have any questions?
I do not, no.
I'm just curious, I know you just got started. Do you have any plans for this year? Any events coming up or any thoughts?
Well, I know that in my past community, there was some consideration for things like joining with NNO, National Night Out,
Oh, yeah.
just doing things within the community. We did a lot of outreach type events in order to get the veterans out there doing positive things in the community, so that people saw that veterans are not just people who are existing among us, but they're still serving, they're still doing a lot of community service, or a lot of them become police officers, firefighters. So these ones, we just want to make sure that they're getting the respect and the help that they desire. But as far as upcoming events, we do have a calendar card that we put out on social media. that has a lot of events that are going to be coming up over the summer, including things like adaptive skiing events, more veterans lunches, a lot of coffee hours, things like that that are happening in other places as well as around here. So we do have an event next week, which will be the coffee hour that Charlie had established previously, and we'll make sure to continue that on a monthly basis.
That's great. Thank you. And let us know when there are things coming up that we can participate in.
Absolutely.
So if there are any other questions, we'd love to hear about your proposed changes to the advisory board roles and responsibilities.
Yeah, so when I took a look at this, there were several items, because this was originally approved by the board in 2008, and some of the organizations that were still on the Veterans Advisory Board are no longer active organizations. In particular, if you are looking at the positions under the VSAB organizations and meetings, under position 2 and position 3, the commander for the American Legion Post 239 is no longer an active Legion. And the commander Disabled American Veterans Chapter 75 is no longer active. So we wanted to go ahead and remove those titles and keep it as just Belchertown residents, Belchertown veterans.
Okay.
Additionally, there was one addition that was added to allow for the VFW, which is still active, to appoint. So it doesn't have to be the commander of the VFW if he wants a designee. We made sure that that was available. Some of the other changes are mostly like clerical issues, like changing it from select board or selectmen.
Selectmen to select board.
Yeah. And then there was a change to the regularly held meetings, which was instead of being on a monthly basis to reflect what we actually are doing on a regular basis, which is for 2 3-month periods between March and May for Memorial Day purposes. And this is on page 3. For 2 3-month periods, March to May, Memorial Day, and September to November for Veterans Day. It still has the provision that the veterans agent can call any meetings outside of those times.
Okay, great. These seem reasonable. I think we have to vote on this.
Yes.
So is there a motion to adopt the amendment?
I make a motion that we adopt the amendment presented in front of us.
Second.
Okay, so seconded. Any discussion?
No, I just want to mention that hasn't been updated since 2008, so thank you so much.
A few things have happened since 2008. Okay. No discussion? All right, then we'll go ahead and we'll vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And anyone opposed? And anyone abstaining? Nope, so 4-0. That was great. I know it was quick, but it's so nice to have you here. Thanks for coming and seeing us.
Okay.
And
Thanks
thank you for
having
making these updates.
me. Outstanding.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so up next, we have Quinn Riddle and Associates and Pine Bond. They're going to be presenting the Tadgell report. Lindsay, are you going to be presenting, or did you want me to put it up on the screen?
It doesn't look like I have the option to present, but.
I can give you that right now.
I believe Craig is having trouble hearing. Are you all set, Craig?
All right, I've given you permissions to be a presenter. And there we are.
All right, great. Thanks everybody for being here. So we're returning to the select board here to present our schematic design package for the town school. So we came during our preliminary design ideas where we presented 3 different options for the reuse of this building. And the first of which was a business use, second was a community center, and third was some amount of housing for various populations. Through the discussion at our last select board meeting, we heard that it would be best to look at a hybrid option in which we incorporated some of the community use and focused primarily on business use, but arrive at essentially a 60-40 split. So that was our goal. So as you see here, we have rendering of the exterior, which we used last time. Key plan on the bottom right. This is our site plan. So Bitlock Way down the bottom, we have provided some additional parking. As we turn the corner and move towards the north, so we have quite a few new parking spaces, a new accessible entrance along the north side of the building, a new entrance canopy on the south side, which you saw in this rendering here. Some new ramps that access the two wings of the building, and then some new outdoor spaces in between these large building masses. As we move into the building, so I'm gonna actually start on this main floor here. So this is that covered entry that you saw. Everything that's shown in green is the community space. Everything that's shown in blue is the business use space. And the total building program area is broken down here at the bottom. So the total building area is 26,813 square feet. The community area is just over 10,000 square feet, and the business area is just over 15,000 square feet. So as we enter in from the south, we have this new entry area. It's really the only other than decks that will make new construction in the building. Everything else happens inside. We've created this new entry area inside where, looking within the existing envelope, we've carved out some spaces on either side of this catwalk that walks into the building and then brings you into the main circulation side. These openings allow light to come down into the lower level, which is pretty shut off from light, especially in this middle area to the right. So these openings in the floor construction allow for light and sight lines to move through, and we'll show you a rendering of that in just a minute. And then we have some informal lounge space, a large administration office, meeting rooms, and then the remainder of the blue space is really tenant fit-out space, so space that could be used for any business developer to design as they would like. We have some smaller offices, a break room, IT room. We have new bathrooms located in the existing bathroom floors in the building, meeting the required plumbing counts for the building use and the use square footage. So the bathrooms are sized appropriately for the design of the building to meet plumbing code. We have a bathroom core on the left wing, the west wing, as well as the right wing. And again, those are located where there is existing plumbing. We try to work with the existing infrastructure as much as possible. We have an accessible ramp that comes up to this floor from the outside. And then we have egress at the other two wings as well. In the middle, we have a large community space here for a maker space or a public market, a kitchen if there was a need for preparing food or any kind of large food gathering, maker space or market space that happen back here. We also have accessible access from the north, so these ramps. This ramp to the left goes down to the parking area, which you saw in the site plan, along the north, and then the ramp to the right goes. The ramp to the right is the one that goes down to the lower level. Between the west and the east wings, we have these two large covered decks. These are new construction. The idea here is that we would have this kind of covered indoor outdoor space, an extension from the interior to allow for gathering space, and really occupy this kind of no man's land that's currently there. Especially being on the north side, there's not a lot of, on the south side there's kind of this natural way of bringing light in and vegetation, but on the north side we're using these decks to kind of create that gathering space where there isn't any currently. And then you can see these larger multi-purpose spaces on the right side of the plan, and these can be programmed any number of ways. They're about 300 square feet each. And then as we move downstairs, so this lounge area is directly below these carved out spaces above, so the natural light from outside, especially on the south side, can move down into the circulation corridor, and you can see all the blue spaces are the tenant fit-out spaces, the bathroom corridor stacked from above, We have access and egress along the west. And then we have some community support spaces on that center wing. And we have a mechanical, electrical plumbing, an electrical closet, so mostly mechanical here, electrical and IT closet. These are really occupying again spaces that are currently being used for, mostly for those systems in the building currently. And then as we move over here to the east, we have existing crawl space and some secure storage. And those dashed lines just represent the decks above. So I'm going to move over here. So we went through a pricing exercise, and Craig can speak to this in the next portion of our presentation. These elevations is a rendered elevation, so these show with notes all of the renovation scope for the exterior of the building. So as I mentioned, this covered canopy and this entry vestibule is really the only new construction other than the decks that we talked about. And this really marks the entrance of the building. It's a new facelift, so to speak. We're proposing for new fenestrations, so all new windows throughout in the existing openings, repointing and repairing of the existing masonry wall, which is actually in pretty good shape. New roof repair and replacement is part of the scope for the building. There's some access ramps and canopies in the entrances. We're calling for painting the brick and just making it a little nicer overall. These are the wood structures on the back, so the decks that have the covered canopy, that have shading, and access from inside. And then these are just some sections showing the spaces in between those wings in the building. And then here we have a rendering that shows the interior experience looking from that lobby area into the new entry catwalk that bridges from the entry vestibule into that main circulation corridor. And so you can see how these cutouts on the floor allow for sight lines through the building and natural light to penetrate down into the lower floor. It also allows for a lot of connection between tenants to have a gathering space and visibility for the building. And then this is looking from the corridor out to that one of the two new decks that are being proposed with the roof structure. You can see how you can have some kind of fabric awning for shading, really flexible, usable space for tenants and community events. This is from the outside, obviously looking back with the painted brick and the windows, the roof structure, and just some minimal planting. And then finally, an aerial view showing it fully occupied. I mentioned this on any given work day with people coming for work-related activities, community-based activities. There's this space out front for the public gardens. And then the parking along the back that we've proposed. So that's it for me. I'm going to hand it off to Craig, who can share with you some of the estimating portion. Do you want me to hand off the sharing to you, Craig? Or? Okay, Steve may have to facilitate that.
All right, Craig, you're a presenter.
We made that bigger.
I can zoom in. It doesn't look very big on the screen. Is it screen like Lindsay's presentation was?
I've got it zoomed in on my side, Craig, but they can't see the bottom. You'll have to scroll.
survey, schematic, and design services, it was about $26 million. After it was presented on, we hired or teamed with a cost estimating subconsultant, PM&C. And so they developed a cost estimate for the set of documents that Lindsay just presented on, and they came in roughly similar order of magnitude numbers, about 21, little under $22 million. Which, and I know those numbers seem staggeringly high. It's a pretty big building. When you break it down per square foot, the numbers seem a little more reasonable for renovation. It's about $545 per square foot for the renovation costs, whereas a new building construction of this size and materials would probably run in the order of $750, maybe even $800, depending on all the bells and whistles that you put in there. So it does make sense financially to renovate versus building new construction for this type of building, for this size of the building. Obviously, that's a lot of money to put out. So one of the other cost estimates that we also put together is what it would take to stabilize the building. Obviously, the roof is in pretty rough shape, and the building has some minor foundation cracks and other items that it could use some repairs on. So we put this. It's about $2.5 million for construction costs, plus a contingency and engineering services, brings up to a little over $3 million to, say, stabilize the building, to prevent any further deterioration, so that if the town does decide to try to team with a developer or an investor, the building's not going to get any worse. And the big chunk of that number is the roof replacement, which I believe the town is looking for a grant to help offset the cost for that. So this $3 million, as far as out of pocket from the town goes, would be reduced significantly. That's all I got for costs.
Okay, thank you. Does the board have any questions?
I have a question for Steve. Were we able to include this stuff with the one-stop application or no?
Yes.
We were.
Yeah, we had the full report in time for the
Oh, great.
grant application.
Awesome. Thank you guys for working on this. It looks beautiful.
Nicole, any questions?
I'm just trying to understand, we're in a perfect scenario where we get help from all of the different resources that we can get help from financially. Let me just back up. If in a perfect situation, is that possible? Can we get the help that we need from grants and be able to fund this 100%? Or what are we looking at out of pocket for the residents?
Well, that hasn't been determined yet. There's various grant
Yeah.
programs out there, and we're just gonna have to keep trying to,
Do we have a ballpark?
no.
This is not like we're going to take this and get $20 million. Like, no grant programs exist to that caliber. If we get the roof, that'll be really helpful.
Mhm.
And then we can start talking with developers about this. Like, hey, we have this. This is what it could look like. Will you help us? Can we partner with you?
So it sounds like you're saying we'd be looking at a debt exclusion regardless?
Well, if we decided to keep it whole, right? So I don't know that we're going to decide that tonight either. or-
Well, yeah, let me jump in. So I've had the report for a few weeks now. We don't know yet what's available fully for grants. We've applied for a one-stop grant to help fund the roof. We've also applied for an MVP2 grant to support the resiliency hub concept. The one-stop grant required a minimum of 60% of business developable space. So the breakdown that Lindsay and Craig put together is a 40-60 split. And that's the reasoning behind that. So in the 2 weeks that I've had the report, utilizing contacts that have already been established over the last couple of years in my office. The report was sent to West Mass Development, Western Mass EDC, the EDIC, Mass Development, the Economic Development Team at UMass, and a local developer. And I'm going to start following up to see if there's any interest. We have a couple of different paths that we can take. At a minimum, there may be others. One would be we maintain ownership of the building and we do a debt exclusion, and we act as a landlord. I don't recommend that. I don't think that's practical. The other is we enter into some sort of a public-private partnership. That would have to be defined through an RFP, RFI, to see what people would be interested in doing, whether the town is a lease, holds a lease to space, or if, there's some sort of another arrangement that's in there, but this is very early on in the discussion. The third option is we just sell the building and get out from underneath it. What Lindsay and Craig have put together is a marketing tool. It shows the potential.
Right.
When he says $544 a square foot, that's a real number. I would assume with inflation and a few other factors, it's probably going to go up. But private sector construction is generally 20 to 30% less than public sector. So if we were to sell it, a developer would be looking at a lower price tag if they were to follow the plan exactly. And that's an important thing to consider, because we have to deal with a lot of procurement laws that drive costs up. Private developers don't have to follow all those laws. If we do a public-private partnership and there's public money involved in it, then that may necessitate following all those public procurement laws. So I think in the next few weeks, months, we need to decide the path towards the future of this building. And it could include any of those three options plus others. So, I'll be doing some research on that to try to figure it out. But I do think we got a good cross-section of people looking at this plan right now.
John, do you have any questions?
No, I think this is great, but I think the longer we sit on this building, the more it's gonna cost. In all honesty, the town can't afford it. It's $26.5 million, it's $3.5 million for a roof. We can't even put a roof on James Brook High School. That's more important to our residents and our children of this town, so. I'm just looking at it from a financial view. We just can't afford it. We need to cut our losses and move on at this point.
So we won't know about the one-stop grant till probably October.
Okay.
So we have a little bit of time on that, because certainly that would help if we could get that roof on.
Are we able to position this, let's say we wanted to hang on to the building, are we able to position the timeline in such a way that we would not have to vote on a debt exclusion, which personally, I don't believe would pass right now, coming off of an override, but would we be able to hold off on that action until we found out first what we were getting from grant resources?
Yeah.
Or would the timeline require us to vote on a debt exclusion and then hope that we got grant money?
I mean, I don't think we'd be looking for a debt exclusion till the annual town meeting. I don't think we would try to do that mid-cycle. So I think we'll know about the grants before we try to move that forward. But again, that's assuming that the town would, I guess the amount of the debt exclusion would be up to negotiating. If we were gonna enter into a public-private partnership, that's what I was trying to get my thoughts around. Because the town would maintain some stake in the building. It may be through a lease or it may be through part ownership. How much money would we have to front to keep that? Sometimes there's leases that run with construction. So as the construction is done, more space is occupied and you pay more. That likely would also take an override, because I don't see that we would have the money for a lease in our operating budgets currently. That's something that's an extra. So I do think that depending on the path of this building, we're going to be going back to the taxpayers at town meeting and asking for some money.
And what is it costing us right now just to keep it the way that it is?
Right now, we're putting minimal into it. It's mostly just keeping the building secure, making sure that the doors are shut and windows are shut. You know, electricity's barely on. The lights are still on, but there's very minimal use, so that it's not expensive.
The longer it sits, the more decay it's getting. Mold is
Yeah.
growing, it's leaking, water is going in the building. That's the issue. It's
That
gonna
is
be
the issue.
It's driving the cost up more and more each time it sits there every day.
So I would like to have some sense of where the board wants to go with this over the next few months, because I think the worst case scenario would be to accept grants, put money into a building and then have it sit vacant and tear it down in 5 years. That would be a disastrous public policy decision. So I do think we need to have an answer. But as far as going back to town meeting, we're a long ways away from that. We have a lot to do before we get to that point.
Well, we can make a motion on something if it's fitting right now, but I feel like we have to wait and see if we're gonna get the grant money for the roof.
When will that be determined?
October?
Yeah. I think we need to have the conversation before October, but not tonight.
Okay.
I think we're
Wait
a
for a
little
full board.
premature. Yeah.
Can I ask one more question? What would the timing be if we wanted to just put it up for sale? Would you recommend waiting until after we see if we get the grant for the roof?
No, I think we could throw an RFP out and just see if somebody would be interested in it. As a, you know,
Even if we get the grant money and it didn't sell, we could still use the grant and apply it on the roof in the meantime, right?
yeah, we'd have to be careful how we phrase
Yeah.
the RFP, that there's possible grant money.
Right.
I'd have to get my head around that a little bit. So this conversation tonight was more for the presentation of the
Right.
report, so.
Okay.
But those are the kinds of questions I want, so I know what to look into for
Well, I mean,
answers.
I feel like a conversation needs to come up soon about first deciding if we want to just get it up for sale. And then if we as a board decide not to do that, then we can dive deeper into this stuff. But if we can parking lot that would be, I think, the way to go.
Sure.
Yeah, and it sounds like, by your estimation, sooner rather than later, so talking about it probably this summer.
If we want to get an RFP out, yes. Just to test the market, we should be talking about that soon. A public-private partnership is going to take a little bit longer because there's more to go into that.
Okay.
So,
All right, so it sounds like no action tonight, but we need to have a formal discussion soon. Craig and Lindsay, if you're still on, thank you so much. This was really interesting and helpful. And I'm sure we'll reach out if we have any questions.
Opportunity.
Yeah.
It's great to work with you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
Thank you.
Okay, I don't think Vinny is here. Is he online? Oh, okay, great. Gotta unhide everybody.
I am online.
Hi, Benny. So I hear that you are coming to talk to us tonight about the upcoming and much anticipated Pride event.
Yes, let's see.
Let's see if we can get you to, would you like to be on camera or do you prefer just to be audio?
Oh, it doesn't matter to me. I'm trying to figure out, I'm kind of new to this, this app, so I'm trying to figure out how to work it, but let's see here.
I just want to mention
Yeah.
too that Joni and Sandra are here also.
Oh, great.
From the,
Would you like to
the
come up also?
There we go. There we go. I
No.
found it.
No, he's gonna sit back.
I just wanted you guys to be recognized as
Oh,
part
thank
of
you.
this conversation.
Thank you. Oh, we can see you. Hi.
I figured it out.
Great. Yeah, Benny, tell us about, a little bit about the event. I know I participated last year. I think everyone was there last year, so, but tell us about what's coming up for this year.
Sure, so this is our 5th year. It's our 2nd year doing the festival and the parade. Last year we had about, I'd say, anywhere from 400 to 500 people attend, which was fantastic. This year we're on par to hopefully draw a larger crowd than that. This year we're having the parade set up, so folks that want to be in the parade, or if you want to consider it a march, anyone is welcome to attend. Everyone will meet at the town hall at the parking lot at 11 a.m. And then the parade will kick off northbound on South Main Street at 11:30. It will continue down Main Street, go on to East Walnut, onto Park Street, and then we'll reconvene on the town common, where we will have the festival from 12 to 5 p.m. We have anticipated 50 plus vendors. We have at least 5 food trucks. We have a band. We have a drag show.
Oh, wow.
Luckily, the town, we were able to locate a stage today. So we're going to be able to have a spot for our folks, our entertainers, to get on and perform for us. All of our entertainers they're just donating their own time. We run completely on zero funds. I think we had a grant this year for a couple $100. Other than that, everything is completely out of our own pockets. All of the volunteers, which is really the organizers ourselves, the DEI task force and friends and such. There's only about 5 or 6 of us that actually organize this event. And so you look on that compared to a scale like Hampshire Pride in Northampton, they have 100 people that help organize that event. So, I really give kudos to my fellow people on the task force for being able to put this all together, especially with such minimal funds. We expect, we're hoping to get anywhere from 500 plus people, and we'll see how it goes.
I'm sure it's going to be great. Thank you so much for all the work that you're doing for this event. Does anyone have any questions or want to get some information?
I do not.
No.
Thank you, Vinny.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
And thank you.
Yeah, and so just to reiterate for anyone listening, that is on June 20th, which is
Yes.
this Saturday? Wow.
Yep, it's this Saturday. It's coming up really fast.
Yeah.
We're definitely in crunch time right now, but me and the other organizers are doing a fantastic job, and everything's starting to come together really well. So.
Is this a dog-friendly event?
Yes, we actually have. It sounds like we have some dogs that will be marching in the parade as well. So.
Excellent.
So we encourage everyone, bring your banners, bring your flags, bring your music, bring everything. We want to be loud, we want to be proud. We want to have a fantastic parade and then a fantastic festival right afterwards. So.
That's great. All right. Well, thank you so much. I hope the weather is perfect for you, and thank you for putting this together.
Thank you very much.
All right. Okay, so moving along, we have the Creative Economy Committee here, and if you all want to come up, I believe you have a quorum tonight, so please come fill the spaces. And I know that you are coming tonight because you want to share with us the 2026 Belchertown Community Summit Report and feedback summary.
So I'm Jill Beardley. I'm the chair of the Creative Economy Committee. There are 6 of us here tonight.
Did you call to order?
So we're going to call
Okay.
our meeting to order. We posted an agenda online at 7:08 p.m.
Great.
So in your packets, you should have two documents. The first is our Belchertown Community Summit report, and then the second is the post-event survey report. And did they print them for you or no?
We have
Okay.
them.
Yeah, you've got
You
them.
guys, you don't have.
It's on my computer. I
think
read
it's
it,
on my
but I don't
computer
have
also,
it
yeah.
in front
You
of
can
me.
pull them up if you want.
That would be perfect. If you want to put them up for others in the room. So this is a long overdue presentation to all of you. The event happened on March 14th from 10 to 12 a.m. I think many of you were there. The idea was born out of the Radically Rural Conference that a few of our from town attended the conference, and we said, well, we should do something like this in Belchertown. The feedback from the event, if you've gotten a chance to take a look at the packet, was overwhelmingly positive. There were 70 plus in attendance. There were from many organizations represented, nonprofits, people just interested in coming, just to see what we could do to bring the town together. There were 4 options for sessions that people could be a part of: space and land use, signature event planning, money marketing, and then volunteer retention and recruitment. And participants had the chance to attend 2 of those sessions. And one of the biggest pieces of feedback we got was those sessions weren't long enough, and they were crowded. There was a lot of interest. And so we know now, I feel like we know a little bit more about what we can do in the future. There was call for a similar event to happen again. When we all sat down to debrief, we talked about the potential of having an event like this at least once a year, but then having potentially 3 smaller events that are similar. With some workshops that would happen, maybe we would have one event just on money and marketing, right? Just on signature event planning. We had some wonderful women in the room that were facilitating these sessions. So much knowledge was there. Sarah Maroney did the space and land use session. Trista Heavey did the signature event planning session. Dawn Cody was money and marketing. And Jen Faulkner was volunteer retention and recruitment. And so each of them just offer so much to those sessions that it would be great to see that expounded upon. Were there any questions that you had about the community summit?
I just wanted to comment that I greatly enjoyed it. I thought it was very well received. I appreciate how positive your survey results are too. I mean, I'm seeing excellent, good, very good. So I'm so glad people enjoyed it, and I love that you want to continue with this. So I'd love to know what those plans are and how we can support you. But I also want to see if anyone else has questions. Jen, do you have any questions or comments?
No. Not at this moment.
Okay. John?
I thought it was wonderful. Thank you for all your time. I know it was a lot of work that you guys put into it, and I don't think the townspeople realize how much work and involvement came into it. We got a lot out of it, so thank you.
For sure. Nicole?
Yeah, I was surprised and happy with the amount of the turnout, but because there were so many people, there definitely wasn't enough time. I actually stayed in the same session twice, and what I found was that we were running out of time before everybody had an opportunity to share their thoughts, and so I think if we do it again, like I would love to see just maybe 2 topics for an extended period of time.
Yeah. Thank you for that feedback.
Do you want to run through any of the slides? Or?
I think the other report is,
It's the meteor one.
it's the meteor one. It's the one that actually has information.
Ready?
Yeah. Some pictures of the event.
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
So, and I can give you some of the key takeaways too, that they'll go up there. There is this really strong desire in town to balance our growth of town with the rural character.
Sure.
That's a piece that has definitely been coming out of attending these radically rural events as well. And then this idea that we need some more flexible space that's mixed use. And I think we just saw that with the ideas coming up for Tadgell, but then we also see it with what's happening with Lake Wallace and just with that Pocket Park area. And with those events, there's a demand for community gathering spaces that we just don't have in town yet. And then there's emphasis on sustainability. Can we keep this going and make it inclusive? So those were really our key takeaways. That's what we heard from the participants, that this is what we should be focusing on in Belchertown. And then, and that multi-generational piece, it's that all ages spaces. I don't know who coined it, but this rural-politan idea. Yep, so better use of our public spaces, our existing public spaces. We are getting better, I think, at getting events out there. I got a message from Kate Nadeau today about our one-stop, right, for events. And that's Creative Economy has been saying that, along with communications, that we need to get better at getting what's happening in town out there for a quick read. So that cross promotion idea, right? Being able to promote for everyone in town. Yeah, the creating a shared marketing tool was part of what came out of the money and marketing, right? So we're all working together. We have a cohesive branding for our town. We want to work together, not against each other, and we want it to look cohesive. Dawn has been working on developing these lists of grant opportunities. So,
Where are we there?
moving forward.
All over the-
So that's the other reason why so many of us came tonight, was we want to talk about moving forward. So moving on from this event, we are back into what Creative Economy Committee was designed to do. The Cultural District designation is reopening on July 7th. The application is due February 8th, 2027. And so it seems like a delay from the summit, but really we're in a good spot right now to ask you for your support for this Cultural District designation. We did much of the pre-work already when we formed the Creative Economy Committee. The application has been started, it has been modified slightly, but we're able to take what we've already done and update it. But with that, we would also like to implement a program called Gather that was actually designed and planned under the BCA, and BCA has given it over to the Creative Economy Committee, and we have been working on fleshing that out. We feel that the Gather project would show town investment and in the cultural district, and it would show that the town is ready to collaborate with our creative economy, right? So our small businesses, our artists, our artisans, that we are willing to support local. And so so that's, do you want to add anything about, does anybody want to add anything about the cultural district designation? Yeah, and Gather.
So I did give you guys packets with a little bit of information about Gather. We just had a meeting with Kyle over at the rec department who showed us the space. It's going to be the American Legion space that's going to be available at the end of the summer. So the subcommittee for Gather took a little tour of that space, and for our purposes right now, I think it would be the perfect space for us to start this kind of maybe a short-term pop-up version of Gather, so we could, start incorporating some of our local artists, get some programming in, and that would also be multi-generational. So it's incorporating a lot of the feedback that we got from the summit and from, just people in town in general from a lot of events. I've noticed being on several different committees that the more that we poll the people in town, we get back the same responses about what people want in this community. And I think Gather is going to be a really incredible place to start pulling some of that together. So we would like to come back in August and do a full presentation of Gather once we have some more of the pieces pulled together.
Okay. So you're not asking for us to vote on Gather tonight?
No. We just wanted to make sure that you were prepared and have knowledge of what we're coming to you with in August.
Yeah, those packets have a lot of information about, that was basically a lot that Maud pulled together when she was putting together a presentation previously. And so that is a lot of the information that we're going to be bringing to you. So I wanted you to have that in case you wanted to put together some questions beforehand.
Thank you.
Can I just
Jen.
add a little bit more flavor here?
Yes.
Maud, who was the Creative Economy Coordinator, worked with the BCA, so it was a collaboration between the two organizations. I just want to make sure that everyone understands that piece of it. And the BCA put in money and resources into this project. They put money into branding, about almost $8,000. So the project was put on hold in '23 because there wasn't an identified space for the program to go into, and for a number of other reasons, BCA, like a lot of things happened in '23. And I think what we discovered after the summit was that there was this fully formed program sitting around in a Google Drive that the town had invested time and money into, and so did the BCA, that we could resurrect and bring forward and make it into part of this piece of the application. So it's there, the Creative Economy Committee is going to work on all of the, like, the sustainable model that they will present to us later in the summer. And they're working on that.
And then what I hear you saying too is, in addition to this being beneficial for cultural district application, it also checks a lot of the boxes of what people were asking for from the summit.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes, that's why we felt they came together at this point. And with our cultural district application for the designation, this shows the community involvement and this, like I said, the town investment. So they're really looking for that collaboration. This designation then does bring us opportunities for grants that are not available to us at the moment. So there is state support and funding that will now be available to us once we get the designation. The Community One Stop for Growth likes to see this on applications, right? So we are in better standing for those grants. And so we see this as really helping the economy of the town. And then bringing people to town. That tourism and branding through the cultural district will hopefully draw more people to town and make us a more cohesive town.
And I think really critically that the application for cultural district designation must clearly show that there is an investment of people and resources into the cultural district. So even before the cultural district exists, it has to exist.
Right.
And along with a lot of other things that are going on, Gather really presented itself as a really fully formed idea for us to just launch and check that. I think probably that's the first box.
Yes.
Yeah, of clearly showing investment from the town.
When you do return to us, will you please bring any financials? So if you anticipate that this is going to cost anything,
Yeah.
and then of course if you think there's any revenue generating possibility as well.
We have identified that having a project manager is really a key piece of this, and as of yet we don't have one, but we will be bringing to you the need for
Right.
a project manager
Right.
if we haven't found one.
As a volunteer or as an employee?
We are hoping it may start out as a volunteer, but we would hope to see it be an employee position.
Right.
It's a lot to manage a project of this scope, and so, yeah.
As part of the cultural district, we need a line item budget with a person attached to it.
Yeah.
Like it's a requirement. It doesn't say how much,
Right.
but it does require.
Right.
The flip side of that is it comes with a $15,000 annual amount of money.
Yes.
So,
Right. So you make the commitment and then they.
yeah, so they want to make sure, and the Mass Cultural Council wants to make sure that the town has skin in the game, that they're not just handing out money. So,
One more question for you. Thank you for bringing Gather to our attention, but you said you want to do something like the summit, maybe up to 3 more times.
Yes.
When can we anticipate the next one?
We haven't talked yet as a committee when that'll be. There was a changeover and a shift.
Yeah.
So we are hoping probably, I would say, Fall Fest time,
Okay.
something like it. That would be October.
Mhm.
October 4th, 3rd?
Yeah.
October 3rd
Lake
would be
Wallace
the
Fest. Yeah.
second Lake Wallace Fall Fest. And if we put that in conjunction with some workshops, that would also look really good for our cultural district designation.
Great. Any other questions? Well, thank you all so much for being here. This is really exciting stuff. You're doing such great work, so thank you for doing all this for us. Thanks.
Oh, I make a motion. Can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting. Second.
Thank you. Motion, meeting adjourned.
Okay.
7:25.
All right, up next, and thank you for your patience, we have the Belchertown Economic Development Industrial Corporation, otherwise known as BEDIC here, our chair and our vice chair.
Thank you.
Hello, thank you for coming and for waiting.
Sure.
So we know you, but will you please introduce yourself for anyone who doesn't know you?
Sure. I'm Beth Maroney. I've been on the EDIC since 2010. I'm the newly appointed chair.
I'm Cheryl Dutton. I was involved in the BDIC early on, developed the area where Tractor Supply is now. Right? And I am the newly appointed vice chair. Been back on for a little over a year.
That's great, thank you. So you have new leadership and then you have other changes as well.
Sure. So we have new leadership, and Cheryl was instrumental in contacting the state to get clarification on the low-income seat, which for years, just a misunderstanding of the requirements of that seat. So fortunately, she was able to get clarification on that they didn't necessarily have to fall within a certain income level. They just had to be a representative of the low-income population. And then she reached out to Jessica Fraga of town, and she has agreed, and Steve was able to get her approval from the state. So she has now been appointed to the low-income seat and will be joining us at our meeting on June 17th. And we're very excited to have her. I think she's going to be a great addition to the team. We also have an open seat. We have 2 interested parties. We will be discussing that on Wednesday and then making our recommendation to Steve. And then we will have a full board for the first time in a long time.
Almost 30 years.
Yeah,
Wow.
since I've been on, the low-income seat has been empty. So, yeah, again, I believe Jessica is going to bring a lot.
She will. So for people who may not know, it's a 7-member board with, and when the state created the EDICs, the Economic Development Corporations, they titled 4 or 5 seats?
5.
5. And so, and that's all they did was title them, that's what led to confusion. You know,
Yeah.
because because when I contacted the state to find what the titles mean, like, is there a list of qualifications under each title? No, everybody knows what we're talking about. Nobody knew what they were talking about. So we have the industrial seat, which would imply someone with industrial experience. The real estate seat, which is often confused with a realtor seat. That's not a requirement of the real estate seat. The banking.
Financial seat.
The financial seat. And government seat. And then we have at large. You know, position
And
2.
the low income.
And
was
the
fifth,
low income, which is, as Beth said, just a person who represents low income, underserved, marginalized people and their needs. So that's just an explanation of why the seats are so specific as the requirement that came from the state. And the reason we needed approval from the state is that, in particular, that low-income seat names have to be brought forward from the state.
Right.
But it was, affected some privacy concerns. So we were able to do a workaround by getting them names that they would then approve.
So that's as far as the organization of the team. So those are the changes. Excited to take on the new role. As far as the development, the property, I think you know, we kind of came to a point where there was quite a bit of development, right? The parcel with Pride, you know, we have Christopher Heights, we have the day school, and then we sort of came upon the acreage that's full of the buildings, right? Which was a daunting process. When I first joined the board, one of the issues was the way the deeds would transfer. So environmental liability would pass on to any purchaser. So that kind of put things on hold. We spent many years working with the state to change that. Because who's going to buy a property that they could be liable for past history?
Right.
I think that was something that when originally it happened, just wasn't understood. And again, that was when I first joined the board in 2010. It took many, many years to resolve that with DCAM. But I think we're at a new beginning right now. We have spent many, many years with the road and the infrastructure, and I think it's a beautiful road. I see people walking there all the time. It really changed the look of that property. It's kind of hard to just take someone to all those trees and old buildings and say, would you like to buy this and develop it? So I think we're at a very good point right now to start getting the word out there. We still have 4 buildings, which we've applied for a one-stop grant. Obviously, it's not going to be enough to take down all 4, but we're going to try to do as much as we can. Our next priority is, you know, Mass Development really wants to almost do like what we were just talking about. They want a meeting of community engagement. What are we looking for on this property? What's feasible, what's marketable, what's possible? We've invited Aaron Vega from Western Mass Economic Council to our meeting on Wednesday. I think he'd be a wonderful collaborator for us. Again, we need to get the word out there. We need to get people to come see this. It's a beautiful property, and I think we've made it as close to site ready as we can at this point. Hopefully, maybe we can find someone that says, I could take down that building cheaper. Like, you know, that's our hope. But I think it's a new beginning for this parcel. I think it's now ready for people to come see what we have here and what we have to offer.
And that's the main parcel, we refer to as the campus piece. So we do have 2 other parcels that will be approaching the market soon, being put on the market. They are not under the umbrella of Mass Development's agency. Mass Development is our legal agent on the campus. So we have the 63-acre property that is off on Route 21, like behind Anytime Fitness. A lot of people have seen the roadway, you know, not a roadway, but the trail that went in when we cleared some trees. And then we have another 34,000, I think it's 34,000-ish square foot lot, leading from Crispy's to the traffic light down 21. There's a lot of frontage, not a lot of depth.
Right.
You know, so there were certain businesses it would be perfect for. We were waiting for the deeds on both of those properties. You recall at Town Hall, there was 10 acres added to parcel D, and then on parcel A, we turned acreage over to the town. So now both of those deeds need to come in.
Okay.
And we'll be getting an appraisal on the largest, the 63-acre piece soon. Soon as anything. So we can look forward to those things coming online as well. Very attractive, and over the years, there's been a great deal of interest in parcel D. From people who wanted pieces of it, which we were unable to do because that would mean we would have to develop it without the money to do that. So we're working on ways and coming up with plans. We've got a couple different roadway designs that one just recently approved by the planning board, which you guys are aware of. But just to be able to show options to potential buyers, what could be there, and other thoughts on it happening. So there has been interest, and we just want to get them on the tax rolls as soon as possible.
When you say soon, do you have like a time frame, like, so the residents know, like, is this 6 months, is this 4 months, is this a year? Like, soon is not really like a time.
For parcel D?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, do you have a rough idea?
Attorney stands now, if they
I'd
could get
like
the
it-
deed transferred, then.
But it's been since
Yeah.
town meetings, and,
Yeah.
we've been waiting for deeds.
Okay.
So that's one piece of it. And
Is there something
We
we can
were
do as a
really-
select board to help you?
we didn't know that part of the grant that we did get for parcel D included the appraisal. We just found that out.
Oh, great.
I don't think,
Okay.
it does not stop us from marketing the property, though.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
And,
So where are you in the marketing phase of that then?
We're waiting for the deed transfer.
Oh, okay, so the deed is still.
waiting for the deeds. I have spoken to 2 different agencies to come and present to us, people who specialize in commercial listings. And I've gotten just minimally the plot plans to them. I'm waiting back to hear what their interest is, to have them come and present to us. We voted as a board to have at least 2 commercial real estate firms approach us with, keeping in mind that commercial agencies often have a bunch of buyers waiting for something as well as selling.
Other questions, Jen? Did you
Well,
have
just
any?
to John's point, like, how can we, as the town, support the E EDIC?
Your attorney.
The same attorney is doing both
Both.
deeds.
The town.
So,
Okay.
I can follow up. with
Yeah.
that. It's been a month. I mean, town meeting was May.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not worried about the urgency.
Right.
Sorry, I know these things are gonna take a long time. I have no other illusions. I'm
Yeah.
just wondering how we can support
Mm-hmm.
the initiatives of the
Let people
EDIC
know.
in general,
Let people
besides
know it's here.
marketing and
Yeah.
networking and talking
Exactly. Well,
about
when
it.
you were in the public, when you were at all of these events, you certainly direct them
Yeah.
our way. We now
Right.
have a VDIC at belchertown.org email, so we don't have to worry about private emails
Awesome.
and stuff going out there.
Good to know.
So those emails would come to the chair, vice chair, whoever is the chair and vice chair at any given time.
Great.
And that can change. And
we are working on another project, and is updating. The narrative on the town's website about EDIC is more about the history of the state
Yeah.
school than what's there. So that really needs to be
Change that.
revamped.
Okay.
And I know that Kate saw it on the agenda. I assured her, we were just sort of talking about what it should, I said, I'm not changing anything.
Yeah.
Because but she reiterated that we were gonna sort of make it a little more visible on the website, so, and I think it needs to be more of a marketing tool than the history of the state school.
Yeah, that
And
makes
right
sense.
now, it's
Like, it could
so,
be a little footnote, but the marketing.
but the,
needs to be
yeah, it's
front.
really not the appropriate narrative for the
Yeah.
Try to sell
EDIC. It's not
something.
really telling anybody that
Yeah, why
we
you should
have
buy
this
it.
great property for sale,
Right.
so I really want to revamp that, and any suggestions anybody has for that, I'm, would love to, but
we also need to pass that down to other committees and organizations. We're really hoping for a rebrand.
Sure.
Like just rebrand it as Carriage Grove. We'd like to get away from calling it the
It's the
former
state
Belchertown
school,
State
right.
School. It's
Okay.
been the former school for what,
Do you
40
have a-
years?
4 years.
Do you
Since
guys have a
1993.
budget for
Yeah,
marketing?
exactly. So.
Do you have a budget for marketing? Well, Mass Development does, and Mass Development is, and that's part of the reason he's looking for us setting a date for sort of a community engagement forum, finding out, who are the stakeholders?
Yeah.
It's very similar to what you did,
Yeah.
and the stakeholders, the boards, the
Yeah.
select board, the planning board, like, what's our strategy here?
Okay.
And they do plan on spending some marketing money here, so,
Great.
and working with us, but.
Awesome.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's.
there is too, because one thing I found out, you know, I guess the town doesn't know, I'm on both those committees. So I was in the land and use sessions, the whole time, and listening intently to a lot of things
Sure.
that came in. I found people in general confused about what we're obligated to do at the state school. There was very specific requirements when the state gave it to us, gave the land to us.
Yes.
And that
And they're still there.
And
Those
they're still,
requirements are
and
still
that
there.
requirement's still there, and it does not include municipal use.
Got it.
So, which was confusing to a lot of people who said, well, why can't that go there or that go there?
Right.
So, taxes and jobs.
What is the status of the housing at Carriage Grove?
I think we're gonna find out this week.
Yeah, I know they've been talking with a couple interested parties, but
Mastiff,
yes.
does they? Okay.
Yeah. Nothing, nothing concrete at this point, but, and then there has been some other interest, which is good. So as of right now, there's no agreement.
Okay.
Any other questions? John, Nicole, Jen? Okay. Thank you for also letting us know that you'd like us to call it Carriage Grove. We can also make
Yeah.
sure that we're using that language too, consistently. That's helpful.
Yes.
And I mean, I'll say, I think I'm really excited. I can tell there's a lot of energy and enthusiasm, so thank you for everything you're doing. Yeah.
We encourage everybody,
Yeah.
watch or attend our meeting.
Watch or attend.
They're so
There's
excited.
one on Wednesday. All right.
Okay, what time's your meeting?
6. I think Wednesday's gonna be a good meeting.
Okay.
And Aaron Vega he was very positive that he was gonna be there, possibly even join online, but, yeah. And I know Mass Development has been talking with them also.
Good. Great.
And they've definitely, I feel, have been a little more engaged lately, reaching out to more Western Mass agencies, which I think hasn't happened in the past.
Okay.
So I think that's a positive.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
Because we're a different animal out here than Eastern Mass, so.
True story.
Well, thank you so much,
All right.
and we'll be seeing you on Wednesday. Thanks. Okay. We are moving into our discussion portion, but I think we do have some visitors tonight. Should we move any items around just so no one has to wait terribly long?
No, I think everything's gonna go pretty quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, we can start with discussion item A. We are currently in need of a clerk on our select board. So I'd like to know if anyone would like to make a motion to nominate a clerk.
I would like to make a motion to nominate John Ritter as our clerk.
Second.
Okay, a discussion. John, would you be interested in accepting this nomination?
Yes, sure.
Great.
Glad to help you out.
You're outnumbered.
I have no
Everyone
choice.
stares at John. All right, well, if there's no discussion, then we'll just take a vote. So all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
I'm just gonna stay.
An abstention?
Yep, one
Okay,
abstention.
one abstention. So 3 yes, 1 abstention. It
Here's
passes.
your latest work.
Uh-oh.
And your journey begins.
Giving you work.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful. We officially have a chair, a vice chair, and a clerk. Very exciting. All right. So next, we have a request to place signs on the town property for the Belchertown Community Band. Hi. Please come on up. And this is on page 17 in our packets. If anyone's looking. So, hi. So, Laura?
Yes.
Hi. Nice to meet you. Please tell us who you are, why you're here, and a little bit about the community band.
Yes. So my name is Laura Hicks. I'm on the board of the Belchertown Community Band. I've also been playing clarinet for over 12 years with the community band. We give 4 to 5 free concerts on the Common every summer. This year is our 40th anniversary, and also it's our country's 250th. So we're going to have a big concert on August 13th.
Oh, neat.
Senator Jake Oliveira is coming, and you all will be invited.
Thank you.
So I mentioned that they are free concerts. They are free to the public. They are not free to us. It costs approximately $5,000 a year to give these free concerts. We procure these funds by soliciting local businesses. We do apply to the Cultural Council. And the third part is the donations that we collect at the concerts. So it's important to us that folks know the concerts are coming, and we're hoping that they will attend. So I'm here to discuss the sign because we've been using our placard sign for over 25 years. It stays on the Common for 5 weeks, and it is too big for the new signage rules that have been implemented. Therefore, I am here to request that our placard sign be grandfathered in, that we will continue and be able to use the sign for our concerts. And I would like to point out that the zone enforcement officer has approved our request.
Yeah, thank you. I know we did receive a letter of support from Paul Adsma saying that he is in support of it as well, for you to be grandfathered in. So thank you for coming, and thank you for also bringing up the point that free concerts are not free to the people who are creating them. So that's such a very important point for us to consider. I'm guessing you will need a vote on this today, right?
That is correct.
All right.
What,
so
what is our maximum right now, out of curiosity?
maximum for what?
Sign.
Oh, the sign.
size.
Let's
It's
see.
on the application.
The sign
I see the size of
has to
the
be
there.
over 10 square feet. And this one is 15 square feet.
Oh, okay.
Correct.
Oh, 10,
10 square feet.
15, okay.
Yeah.
I make a motion that we approve and grandfather in the sign for the Belchertown Community Band Summer Program.
Second.
Okay.
Oh, you want to
Ask
list the
a question
dates?
before the final vote? Maybe I'm too late, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's-
In your definition, does grandfather mean for the life of the community band?
It's a good point. We actually could edit it unless you'd like to keep your motion as
Well, I
stated.
did
should
say,
add the dates, too.
I did say grandfathered because I would like them to be able to just have this
Yep.
on the common. It is a great service to our community.
Would you like to edit your motion, include the dates also?
What are the dates?
July 11th through August 16th.
Okay. So should I just redo it?
Sure.
I withdraw my motion,
Okay.
Do you want me to make the motion?
if you're ready for it.
Wasn't it seconded?
Huh? It was seconded, so I withdrew it, or we vote,
Okay.
and we make it fail? No, we withdraw it,
Withdraw.
amend
Free to
it?
withdraw it.
Withdraw.
Yeah. I move that we approve the request from the Belchertown Community Band to place a 36 by 60 inch sign, grandfather,
Did you say inch?
36 by 60 sign. 36, Is that not right?
60, so 3 feet by 5 feet.
is that wrong?
It's larger than that.
Oh, that's how the,
This says 36 by 60.
Yeah.
That's what the application says.
Let me get back there.
We're over 2.
3 feet
To
by
be
5
honest
feet.
with you, and I'll be very honest, I tried to do this online and it was very difficult to
Okay.
do.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the placard because it's stored in our shed, in our, trailer, but it's about as tall as I am, and it's like 3 feet wide, and it's a placard.
yeah.
So it's,
It's a, yeah, like an
It's a sandwich.
So
I mean,
The app-
I've never
the-
felt like it
That's
was
two
so,
signs.
I've never felt like it was
Yeah,
too big.
it's not.
I'm not at all concerned about that. I just wanted to get the correct, because I think one of the things we have to think about is are others going to come forward and ask for the same treatment?
right.
So the application said 36 inches by 60 inches.
Yeah.
The person with the tape measure, who's also the building inspector, confirmed 36
Well,
by
I
feel good
60.
about that.
So I
So
think we'll
I
call it
think that was a
36 by
mistake
60.
when I was trying to type it online, and the building inspector did not have
Oh.
access to our trailer, so he
Okay.
couldn't confirm it.
Okay,
But it's
let's not
really
put the
like 3
measurements in.
feet
I'll
by
just-
5 feet twice.
Okay.
Let's not put the measurements in.
I
Let's just
move-
grandfather the existing
Yeah,
sign.
I move that we approve and grandfather the request from the Belchertown Community Band to place a sign on the town common from July 11th through August 16th, 2026, advertising the summer concert series.
Second.
All right, discussion. We have discussed. Okay, great. So all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, so it passes
Do I need to
4-0.
request a second one for future use?
So my,
Every year.
Every year, right?
So
yeah,
every
Yeah.
year I need to come back and appear again? Is that
Yeah.
what you're informing me? I'm not complaining, I'm just
No, yeah,
asking so I
yeah,
understand.
it's every year, kind of, whenever your dates are. So once your date runs out on August 16th, your new set of date, you'd have to apply for a new set of signs.
Yep.
But you don't have to be here.
You don't have to be here now.
We'll just discuss it.
Okay.
And Steve will remind us
I got your-
that we're
Remember what you did
grandfathered.
last year? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully the community band is going to outlive both of us.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yes. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes,
Welcome.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
Not for
We'll
a
see you
very,
soon.
very long time, but I hope so.
Can I have a question
please.
about signs.
Okay.
How do we enforce people removing signs? Because there are signs all over town for an event that has
Yes.
since passed,
I
and
just
I'm,
saw that this weekend.
yeah.
Our zoning enforcement officer will routinely go out and pick them up and contact the people and,
Okay,
Yeah.
because there's quite a number of,
Yeah.
for an event that has already passed,
okay.
all around town.
Sounds like a lot of work for that officer.
I mean, that'd be something good for him to track.
I think there's
and
some
not-
down on
To see how much
Jackson,
time is spent.
across from DPW.
Yeah.
He usually picks them up while he's traveling around town going to
Yeah.
inspections, so it's not a special trip out
Yeah.
unless he has a complaint.
But it is a good reminder, if you have signs out, please take those signs home. Okay, so what's up next? More fun topics for the summer. Discussion C, fireworks discussion for America's 250th anniversary. And John, I think that's your
Yeah,
topic.
so I talked to Kyle today, just to want to keep everybody in the loop. So tomorrow, the website will go live so residents can donate personally. So if
Cool.
you're a personal resident, you can go to the rec department and there'll be a sign there to donate. Donations are, some people have committed verbally, some people, we're just waiting for the money to start flowing in, now the account is set up. We do have I guess out to bid or RFP, you want to call it. So we're waiting for some funding to come in before we officially sign. Steve can comment on that part of it, but
Yeah.
once we have that, Kyle plans on coming in our next meeting, probably in July timeframe, just to sit down with us and talk about the RFP and where we're at for funding, so we can figure out our next steps. But Steve can probably comment on that stuff to make it.
Yeah, Kyle's been doing his homework on the hiring a contractor. He's solicited pricing and he's received pricing from three vendors.
Okay.
By law, I am unable to sign a contract with a vendor unless there's money for it.
Okay.
Sort of verbal commitments of donations, I can't act on the contract. So to John's point, we need people to log in, make their donations
Where
official.
do we log in again?
Through the rec department website, so it'll go live tomorrow.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Through the rec department.
And-
So it'll be the
then-
same system they use to
Yep.
sign up
Right.
for yoga and
Yep.
baseball. Okay.
So once we have the money in place, then I'll sign the contract and we'll be confirmed.
2 questions. Number 1, are we reaching out to businesses for
Yep.
donations?
Letters went out to businesses,
Okay.
Kyle sent them all to every business in town.
Okay.
Will
And
there
then,
be sponsorship levels? I'm sorry to interrupt
Nope.
your question.
No sponsorship level, just kind of, there'll be a big sign, I think, who donates, kind of, is
That's
his,
nice.
his thought.
okay. And number 2, I don't even know if we're able to, but have we approached Cultural Council for funds?
I
When is
don't
their
think,
application
so their application
It's closed.
is closed, it's open at the end of the summer for a period of time, so you could technically. And then MCC also has festival grants that you can look at. They're not very much money,
Yeah.
but,
So Cultural Council's over at the end of the summer? So does that mean
sorry,
it's
the
still
cultural, our Belchertown Cultural Council with the appropriation that the town gets,
Yep.
their grant cycle opens like at the end of August. It's open for like a month. Yeah.
So it'll be too late.
Yeah, so that's kind of how that program works. And then Mass Cultural Council itself has different grant options that they run throughout the year. Like they have cultural experiences, which I think replace the festival grants, right?
There's the, am I allowed to speak?
You've been asked the question, so yes.
Sorry, I'm looking at you because I feel like you might know the
Yeah,
answer.
there's the Creative Experiences grant, which is 250, 2,500 or
Yeah.
5,000, but that's already closed.
Those are closed, yeah.
But the local cultural council will let you, grants, you can have it retroactively apply
Right.
up to,
And their max
So-
is 1,000
yeah.
for grants.
So if it's,
so.
after July 1st, which it is,
Mhm.
then you could apply for it even though the event has already happened.
Yeah, that's true.
That could be
This is all good stuff, especially for next year and stuff. I know we're just trying to get it running for this year. I know we haven't done it in a while, so there's a lot of,
Is this
It's like a
a
roller-
4-figure event or a 5-figure event? 4?
like, under 20,000.
So it's a 5-figure event?
It's a 5-figure.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. And the proposed date is
September 24th,
The first day,
September 24th?
the day
Yeah.
before the
Day
fair.
before
the day
fair?
before, the Thursday before the fair.
Yeah.
And where are the fireworks going to be shot off
Chestnut.
from?
Chestnut Hill.
Chestnut Hill.
Oh, and I have one other question, which isn't really related to this, but why did we stop doing the fireworks in the first place? And we do not expect that to be an obstacle for this one, correct?
So the previous fireworks were organized and managed by the fair committee.
Okay,
They did all the fundraising, they put together the whole program. And it was too much for them to organize that at the same time as the fair. Because they had to set up at Chestnut Hill Community School Thursday and be ready for Friday at the town common. We also ran into issues with West Nile virus and
Yes.
Triple E,
Oh,
Okay.
sure.
and they had to cancel it. So it just kind of fizzled and they didn't want to pick it back up. So realistically, if this is something we're gonna do every year, maybe it's a CCC, maybe it's a separate committee that's
do we
official.
need Board of Health approval for this event?
I don't think we need Board of Health.
I don't think so.
I think it's fire department.
Fire department approved, the police approved.
Well, my understanding was that the Board of Health was
They
the
shut it
one that
down for the
initially
West
shut it down.
Nile
Yeah.
and the Zika virus. All those mosquitoes.
Okay, and then just a reminder, in case anyone's wondering, the reason that we're doing fundraising is because the town is not
Yeah,
sponsoring this. in
there's
any
no
way fiscally.
taxpayer dollars being used. Fire department is donating, like the volunteers are donating their stuff, so.
Yeah.
There will be food trucks there, and then the 250th are, well, that's where you kind of go in our segue with the America 250th
Yeah.
celebration at the same time, which Allegra's over there, so I don't want to steal her thunder. But we kind of missed, and I just want to tell the residents, we kind of missed the boat with this. We should have been playing this almost like 2 years ago. There was funding and grants.
There was
And we
funding
didn't
and
apply for any of that stuff,
Oh,
so we're
wow.
trying to just do something to honor the 250th of America,
Right,
and this is our piece of doing it as a town,
okay.
Yeah.
in my eyes.
Well, I know we're bleeding into the next discussion. Is there anything that you need from us for the fireworks discussion right now?
No, I just wanted to give you a quick update on that, and people had a lot of questions with the funding and stuff, so I wanted to clear it up.
That's great. Okay, so then rolling in, because you're already talking about
Yeah,
it, but
sorry.
yes, no, you're absolutely right. So tell us about request for approval for proclamation of America's 250th anniversary. Let's see, I think,
That's for
Allegra,
Yes, I invited Allegra.
are you up for coming and we're putting you on the spot?
Putting her on the spot.
Hello.
Hi.
So I'm Allegra Giovine, and I'm here, I think, in my capacity as the Assistant Archivist of the Stonehouse Museum. I'm also on the Town Communications Committee.
Yeah,
It's nice to see all of you.
yeah, thank you for coming.
And I think there's actually two related things here. So I had submitted in your packet a template letter for you to send to various state senators, governor, other representatives to invite to this event that's going to combine fireworks and 250th. Oh, I should have said, actually, let me back up. I'm here because a task force was formed by the Belchertown Historical Commission, and I'm on that task force to do something to recognize America's 250th in Belchertown. The task force was organized back in February, and we were very pleased to learn that the fireworks would be coming back
Right.
because there was no time to organize something for July 4th, and so to organize something for September gives us a little bit more time to do something. And we would like, and so the letter in your packet is, we would like to just send this out to whoever might want to attend. I don't know how you want to proceed with that.
So this is to attend the reading of the resolution and the flag raising?
No, I do not think so. No, this is to attend the event on September 24th at
Okay.
Chestnut Hill.
Okay.
Which would be a pretty big, festive occasion. So there will be the fireworks part of the program, but we're also planning about 30 to 45 minutes of programming that recognizes the 250th. So I believe Bob Lewis from the Historical Commission is going to read part of the Declaration of Independence.
We would love for somebody to speak a little bit about Belchertown's history at the time of American independence. And various other programming for kids, including storytelling and creating a big banner display, you know, sort of small things, but very festive things. And so, yes, the invitation letter is for that event on September 24th.
So typically, when we get a request to raise a flag, it's accompanied by a proclamation.
Right.
In the past, we've always done them as two separate agenda items.
Okay.
So this first one is to approve the proclamation. As a side, Allegra wants you to sign some letters of invite to some of our local politicians. You don't have to vote on that. You can just agree to do it.
Sign it.
But the proclamation, you should vote to approve it. And then your next step will be to approve a request for a flag raising, which is item E.
Okay.
So
the
just to
proclamation-
clarify what's going on.
Yeah.
Thank you. The proclamation is on page 21, the resolution, is that right?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I believe the proclamation, I think Nicole shared with me, and John, this is a template that grows out of the National League of Cities put together a packet to help municipalities prepare for recognizing the 250th, and it's been adapted for Belchertown. And I believe the intention is that this would be read at the flag raising in July.
That's typical, yes.
Okay,
Yep.
so, yes.
You need to select a reader.
Select one of you.
So,
You did all the work. We're gonna put you on the spot.
That's
We
usually
were-
what happens at the last minute. Somebody says, who's supposed to read
Do
this?
so we were thinking, July 1st, would be the day that we would probably want to do that.
To raise the
that-
flag and
if-
and read the proclamation?
Yeah, yeah, if everyone is okay with that.
Okay. So then I suppose do we need to make a motion to actually approve the resolution, or can we encompass the time of, no, you said flag raising has to be separate from resolution?
Typically, we do them as separate, yes. Yep.
Okay.
So I would have somebody make a motion to approve the resolution. And then the next item will be to make a motion to approve the flag raising request.
All right, so is there a motion to approve
Well,
the resolution?
As the bicentennial baby at the table, I would like to make one of the motions.
You can
if
make
that's
both
okay.
of them.
Yeah.
I'll make both of them. Okay.
You're gonna do
I'm
it?
going to be 50. All right. I move that we approve the request. Oh, hang on a sec. I move that we approve the request of a resolution commemorating the U.S. semi-quincentennial anniversary as presented.
Second. Okay, discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any nays and any abstentions? Passes 4-0.
And I move that we approve the request of our 250th celebration planning group to raise an America's 250 anniversary flag, July 1st, 2026, at Lawrence Memorial Hall.
Second. Discussion. I just have one question. Remind me, the part of this packet, this marketing packet, is there a certain flag? I think,
It is a 250th flag, 250th American.org. It just says 250th on it. It's like
Okay.
the flag, the .org, the official flag
Okay.
for the government, I guess, if that makes, it's
how do we
blue.
get the flag?
Somebody's gonna have to order it.
Someone's gonna have to buy the flag.
We have one
We have a
coming.
resident who's ordered it
Yes,
already.
we have a donation.
Oh, that's nice. Okay, thank you. I was thinking we probably didn't have time to stitch said flag either, so just checking. All right, any other discussion items?
Good
No.
question.
Okay, all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And any nays, any abstentions? Okay, 4-0. So you have a proclamation, you have a flag.
And I guess we should just make I just want to make a motion that we
Yeah.
endorse these letters to our elected officials, Senator Warren, Senator Markey, Senator Oliveira, Governor Healy, Representative McGovern, Representative Saunders, and Representative, would it be Neal instead of McGovern?
Oh, yes, that's true.
Why don't we send it to both?
Send it to both of them.
Why not?
Yeah, he used to represent us.
All right, John made a motion.
Second.
Okay. Discussion? Okay. All right, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, and I don't need to say the next part, we all said aye. So
So-
4-0.
We'll put together another letter. It'll be in the office. You can just stop by.
Okay.
Another letter?
He's got them printed already.
Yeah,
Well,
we just need one for
Because we
Neil.
need one
We
for
need for
Neil.
Richie.
not
Oh,
for
Neil,
Thank
Trevor.
you, Richie Neal, right. Okay. I think that's everything here. Did you get to say everything that you wanted to say? I think we got excited.
Yeah, no,
I just want to thank her publicly and the 250s because
Yeah.
this group of residents just put this together for the
Yeah.
town. Like I was saying earlier, like there was no plan, so they just kind of took the ball. So we have great residents in town. I just want to say about Belchertown and people like this. Thank you.
Yeah.
I know it's
Thank
not
you so
easy.
much. Yeah, we would be feeling remiss if we didn't do something, so thank you.
thank you.
Thanks.
So like,
All right.
Thank you.
Now all the fun things end, and now we're going to endorse municipal transfers of appropriations, page 21 through 32.
oh boy.
I think that, Steve, do you want to tee this up for us? I think this is
Yeah.
standard stuff.
Yeah, it's standard. You know, there's, at the end of every fiscal year, there's 4 ways we typically balance our budgets. One is at the special town meeting in May. You've already lived through that. The other one is we will oftentimes reach out to the finance committee for reserve fund transfers. Some budgets have similar items from one budget to another, like the town hall budget would have a maintenance line item.
Sure.
But our maintenance at DPW budget would also have a general building maintenance, so sometimes we just move bills around.
Sure.
And the fourth
Your
way are
bill
these.
goes up in your gas or your oil.
Yeah, exactly. Which pocket do you take it out of?
Yeah.
You know. The final one is municipal transfers, which is a relatively new state law, probably the last 10 years, that allows end-of-year transfers without having to go through the legislative body. And the legislative body is town meeting. That's why the special is always first. But this gives the select board some discretion to move money at the end of the year just to balance out these budgets, because they all have to end in the black.
Right.
So Jill has prepared a series of transfer requests for you to endorse tonight. The Finance Committee has already reviewed them and has recommended favorably that they be approved by the Select Board.
Can we make a motion to approve them as a slate, or do we need to go one by one?
No, just either or, but however you want to do it.
Okay.
What do you normally do?
I would read them all, but if you
Yeah, I
want
would
to do
read
one.
them all.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So do we want to go one by one then? All right.
All right, I make a motion that we transfer $14,600 from professional engineering to the law account for municipal transfer of appropriations.
Second?
Okay, discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, that passes 4-0.
I make a motion, we transfer $944 from general insurance to hydrant services.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That also passed 4-0.
I make a motion to transfer $7,000 from the town share of health insurance to the fire station building.
Second.
Discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And that also passed 4-0.
I make a motion to transfer $5,000 from the town share of health insurance to unemployment.
Second.
Discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
That was everyone, 4-0.
I make a motion to transfer $4,400 from professional engineering to our town share of Medicare.
Second.
Discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. That was 4-0.
And that was,
And that was the last
Yeah.
one? Okay.
Can I bring something up? With the law account, first, how are we billed? Is it hourly? Are we on retainer? If it is hourly and we pick up the phone and call our attorney and talk to him for 5 minutes, what are we getting billed for? What's the amount?
Well, I don't know if there's ever a conversation with town attorneys that only goes 5 minutes. Typically, we see blocks as short as 15 minutes.
Okay.
15 minutes.
I've
And it
wondered
is
this
an
also.
hourly rate.
Is that the
Yeah.
same with emails also, if you send an email?
Yeah, they will charge on that.
Unless it
Now,
requires discovery?
the only caveat to this is that we had several investigations.
Right.
And those are separate. They also go into the law account. We had one that was over $22,000.
One investigation.
Yeah, so, that's where we have a hard time budgeting for legal, because we don't know what's gonna come down, come at us throughout the course of the fiscal year.
Right.
So general advice is generally just by the hour, and sometimes it's, a 15-minute call, and other times it's 2 hours, so it depends.
Do we have any protocols in place? Obviously, when it's an HR matter, when it's a union contract negotiation matter, no question about it. But when it's other topics, do we have any protocols in place as to when chair or town manager or HR pick up the phone and contact an attorney?
That's a good point.
I am concerned. I feel like, and I could be not remembering this correctly, so please, Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like last year we were overdrawn on law account as well.
Slightly, not as bad as we were this year.
Yeah, and this was
Yeah.
definitely an outlier year, but I'm just wondering, what do we do before we decide to pick up the phone and call an attorney? Are we making sure we're exhausting our free resources, whether it's, I don't know, MMA,
The ethics
DLS, state ethics? And can I, if I decide tomorrow in my head that I have a question for an attorney, can I, just as vice chair, just pick up the phone and call? Is that okay with all of you? Like, I just don't know what our protocols are.
Yeah, I'm not aware of any written protocols. Maybe we can look at something to put that together, because there have been select board members calling council, and we do get billed for that.
Yeah, and that, as you like to say, I have heartburn with that, because what if John decides to call an attorney, and I could have said to him, well, why didn't you just look it up on the DLS website, or, you know what I mean? And then you've just spent taxpayer dollars. Like, I just want to make sure that we're being really
Yeah.
careful about that.
I mean, I don't see a lot of issues like that. When I call is if I know there's potential for litigation. Obviously, employee matters, HR matters, anything that runs through the police department. If there's questions, we'll call. The last thing we are going to do is chat GBT legal. That doesn't happen. So we, if there's potential for litigation, we'll call. Contract matters, we'll call. We have legal reviewing sports haven documents and, the cases there. So these are all things that have been ongoing. And I think, this year was tough because we had 3 union negotiations going on. We had some unexpected problems with complaints and investigations. I don't see a big problem with, access to counsel. For the most part, the department heads will contact me first. Property transfers, that's another one that we have to go through council. The sale of a building, 6 Berkshire Ave,
Yep.
Franklin School, Cold Spring School. It was just an active year. So,
I'm just curious, have we ever done a cost-benefit analysis? Well, no, that probably wouldn't make sense because we have multiple attorneys, so it wouldn't make
Yeah.
sense to necessarily have one on staff.
that's the hard part, because, we have real estate attorneys, we have contract specialists, we have labor specialists, we have, town meeting specialists. So it is good to have that variety. I mean, I think if we were to start to see a lopsided figure towards one of those disciplines, then maybe it would make sense to bring somebody on, but at this point, I don't see that. So, maybe there does need to be some protocol. I can reach out to some of my colleagues, see if they have anything in writing.
Right. And if we need to bring this up another discussion topic
Yeah.
another time,
Yeah.
do that, but it's a good point. I didn't know about the quarter hour breakdowns, that's helpful.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right, so next topic, discussion item G is an acknowledgement of open meeting law complaint. So we received on June 4th a complaint against the select board of a potential open meeting law violation from the June 1st meeting, which was a public meeting and is recorded. It is recommended that we just send this to council for a formal response. So.
Yeah, so I think you should vote to acknowledge receipt of the complaint and to forward it to council for follow-up.
Okay. So do I hear a motion?
I make a motion, we acknowledge the receipt and forward to the council for a response.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that will be sent to council. Thank you. Okay, and H, endorse amendment to the International Agreement for Emergency Communications and Dispatch Services by and between the town of Wilbraham, Hampden, and Belchertown, page 35. This is the agreement that we came up with for shared services 2 years ago, and I guess it's due for renewal. If anyone hasn't been to visit, it's such a great facility. I highly recommend it. I had the chance to do that a few years ago. So Steve, anything that you need to add about this?
No, our involvement in the contract is not up for renewal. This is Hampden is looking to extend their agreement with the other two towns, Wilbraham and Belchertown, for a year to get us all into the same cycle.
Got it.
I know that the group is negotiating with another community to try to bring another town into this. So I think that's why they're looking for 1 year instead of a full contract, so we can
I
all
see.
kind of get into the same thing. But it's interesting because, you know, we think we're all new here, and, you know, Whitney, you were the one that signed this originally in Wilbraham.
Yeah, I think it
Now,
was
now
day
you're
2
bringing
for
it up
me.
now you're bringing it up for a renewal, so that just shows, you know, how fast time goes by.
It's true.
So, yeah, I support this, and I know both chiefs have been part of the discussions with Wilbraham and Hampden, as well as, you know, negotiations to bring another community in. So, you know, hopefully that helps, because that is how we access additional grant money. So.
Yeah, and I will say, at least from my perspective, this has been a great example of a successful shared service, and I'm glad that we've been able to have that.
Agreed.
So I think we do need to vote on this.
Yes.
I move that we endorse the amendment to the International Agreement for Emergency Communications and Dispatch Services by and between the towns of Wilbraham, Hampden, and Belchertown,
Ending on June 30th, 2027.
ending on June 30th, 2027.
Yeah, it's 1 year extension.
Yeah.
Is it international or intermunicipal?
Intermunicipal. It does say international in our agenda, but it is intermunicipal.
It's intermediate, on the form, it's intermunicipal.
Why would I know?
It is intermunicipal.
Municipal agreement.
That
It says
is
it
such a good
correctly.
point.
That's a spell check problem.
I just want to make sure, 'cause-
No, it's not a spell check problem. It was spelled right.
okay.
We are
Let
not
me do it
expanding
again.
to other countries on this, so.
Let me do it again. I move that we endorse the amendment to the intermunicipal agreement for emergency communications and dispatch services by and between the towns of Wilbraham, Hampden, and Belchertown ending June 30th, 2027.
Second.
Great. Any discussion? No, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and that passes 4-0. Okay, we made it through. So we're to our town manager's report.
Fun times. All right. Today, this is an add-on to my report. Today, we found out that the electrical transformer feeding the senior center failed.
I knew the power was
Is that
out, but it
related
was
to the
the
power outage
transformer.
in town?
Unfortunately, no. We were hoping it was, but
no.
it appears as though it's just age. You know, it's
Are
25
we
years old.
responsible for replacing that?
Yeah. So Max and the DPW spent all day trying to get a contractor in. They did start the replacement process. It'll likely finish tomorrow.
Okay,
So people who are wishing to go to the senior center should check the website to make sure that their programs are still operational. Some are, some aren't. They are running off a generator power at the moment, and you know, we'll get that fixed as fast as we can. We're probably looking at $15,000 to $20,000 on that repair.
So are we looking to, do we have anything in reserves?
I'll stay tuned. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll figure that
Does
out.
that stop like lunches and stuff? Is that?
Yeah, the whole
it did today.
Yeah,
I'm just
but I
curious.
don't know what they're planning for tomorrow, if they're gonna cook, you know, do bag lunches or work off of generator power.
There's probably a gas bill or a diesel bill, right, on top of that?
Yeah,
So we don't
that-
lose all the food or anything down there, right?
Right, I'm sure we can hold off on that till after July 1. So I just wanted to add that in because that's a key piece of information for everybody. So my normal operations, I endorse warrants. I did attend the Pride event on June 1st. I attended the progress meeting for the MDI grant funded marketing study. That report should be available anytime now. The end date for the grant program is June 30th, so we have to have that report in. There
That's
was,
a revised report, right?
yeah, so there was some conversation around the recommendations in the report. The consultants that were hired keyed in on the UMass and 5 College traffic, and that's why they looked at the 181 to Main Street, North Main Street corridor, and really didn't focus on the corridor, the 202 corridor, down around Carriage Grove and the schools. So they are working to include some language on that, because that is a very significant business hub for us as well. So it was kind of surprising, because there was a lot of information in the report about that area with businesses and everything else, but they really didn't call it out as an area for business development. So I would suspect that the final report will have more information. There will also be an appendix to talk about the Carriage Grove development.
Right.
That was not included in the report or the study, because EDIC is a separate body politic. They're really not part of the town.
Okay.
And the proposed cultural district designation did not include the Carriage Grove area as part of its designation. And that's the same map that we used for the marketing study.
Okay.
Which again is another reason why I'm surprised that they didn't look at the 202 corridor, because that's where our cultural district. So,
Are they gonna come and present?
I'm not sure
Given the
because of the grant
timing.
period,
So
yeah.
this was just a vendor that was given to us by grant. We didn't get to pick them.
No.
That is
but-
correct.
But are we heavily relying on this study?
We were. Our hope was to use that market study to market the town.
Yeah,
And we also asked for a 1-pager, and they gave us a 15-page report. So it's a little,
And it's the same vendor that's doing our signage?
no,
yeah,
no.
signage, wayfinding is different. Wayfinding, we had control over the study, so. Anyhow, I will get that to the board as soon as possible, as soon as we see it. I don't know if there's gonna be time. Well, there won't be a presentation before the end of June, because this is our last meeting in June. Whether or not there'll be any opportunity for additional revisions, that I don't know, so. But I do think some of the recommendations are more universal, and hopefully we can apply them to areas that we're, not as heavily focused on.
Yeah.
So we will do our best to get through it. I did meet with the chair of the Creative Economy Committee regarding the Gather project and the Cultural District designation, and a project manager. We are working to, we have identified some funding. So we're going to be putting out a request for quotes to bring somebody in to help support that project going into FY27. And with that, we also have the ad out now for the Community and Economic Development Planner position, and I'll stress planner.
Planner.
I attended a appreciation breakfast at Pathfinder. It was well attended. There was a lot of communities represented there, as well as vendors. Anybody that Pathfinder works with throughout the year, they invited just for a quick breakfast, and so we got to meet some people from other communities as well as vendors that they're using. So it was a nice event. It was short, only an hour. I met with the library director to review and provide some advice on a very long list of capital projects. I do believe the library is going to be in sometime in July to talk a little bit about those projects to the board. They have a pretty aggressive list of things that they're trying to do, and I give Cindy a lot of credit for taking that on. It's daunting, I know.
Do those fall under our capital list?
No, because the library is not a town building.
Okay.
Yeah. I did conduct an interview with HR director and the police chief for our lieutenant. There will be an announcement shortly.
On that, can you just make sure we get an invite when we do the promotion?
Yeah, I am aware that the pinning ceremony will be at the police station, at the request of the applicant.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'll make sure you know about it. I did attend the final discussion of our ADA self-evaluation report. There was a lot of interesting things in that report. I think overall, Belchertown does a pretty good job of being ADA accessible. But there's also a lot of recommendations and things that, we could do better. So, yeah, one of the things that surprised me is there is concern about our gravel trails, especially Lake Wallace. Even though that's a relatively hard compacted stone dust surface, if it's not maintained, it falls out of compliance pretty quickly. So those are things that we have to kind of, keep in mind going forward when we construct trails. Do we have the resources to keep them maintained to their expectations? So I don't think we had any black marks on there necessarily, but just something to be aware of. So that report should be available soon, and that will open up pathways to additional grants as well. I attended the Finance Committee meeting. I attended a Quabbin Watershed Stewards Planning session. The big news with that is July 10th, the MWRA Board, the Mass Water Resource Authority, will be holding a meeting in this area.
Okay.
I think it's their first time they've ever met outside of Boston.
Oh, lovely.
Ed Como, our Quabbin
Enthusiast.
Was quick to jump on the call and say, the town hall could hold about 70, 80 people.
Yeah.
So the town hall is under consideration
Oh, wow.
for this meeting. They were gonna have it at the visitor center, but it very well might be in this building. We're gonna see. The only issue with that, I am on vacation, July 10th,
I'll be
11th,
there.
and
You'll be there.
13th.
I'll
So
be there.
I'm hoping that some board members can be there. And, I'll try to have some anecdotal information. The Quabbin, the flooding of those towns, it did impact this region economically. Belchertown, I think our biggest economic loss is available property for taxation. The number of acres that could have been developed and taxable. But I also question the lack of economic viability of not having residents in surrounding towns. We have water. And if those were populated communities, they'd be coming here to utilize our services and maybe vice versa. We have it better than some. To the north of the Quabbin, we have an east-west connector, Route 2. In the south of the Quabbin, we have an east-west connector, Route 9. That's what's keeping us afloat. If you look at all the towns in between Route 2 and Route 9 on both sides of the Quabbin, they are all depressed. Their economy is suffering in an unimaginable way because they don't have that corridor from New York to Boston.
Right.
So, I think I'm happy that they're coming here, and I hope that they listen to the communities, and I hope that there starts to be some acknowledgement of what we're all going through and some support. There's been bills that have been presented and that are still pending. Pennies a month to these MWRA subscribers would generate millions of dollars for us out here. So I'm hoping that all gets pushed through, and I hope they really see what's going on.
So when you see an invitation, you'll pass it on to us?
Yes, absolutely. Yep. Yep. I did meet with the EDIC chair and Mass Development, just getting an update on the Carriage Grove redevelopment area, which you heard tonight. I did meet with Chief Bakunis and Chief Ingram for activity updates on vacant positions, budgets, the living quarters, and I think we're in pretty good shape with that. I already mentioned the police lieutenant. You probably have already heard in the news that Mark Hopper was arraigned on murder charges and he was denied bail. July 13th through the 17th is going to be our annual Summer Youth Police Academy. Again, it's going to be held at the police station. And August 4th is National Night Out. So I've been able to get updated on all of that. We have one candidate at the police academy, Connor White, and he is due to graduate on July 31st.
That's great.
So some good things coming there. The fire chief, beside the living quarters, he's starting to work on hiring the assistant chief, the deputy fire chief. And he also wanted to let you know that this past month, 3 Belchertown high school students and 10 Pathfinder high school students attended a one-day emergent program at the Department of Fire Services. It's an introduction to fire services and EMS care, and I guess they really had a good time. So that was a good thing for them. You know, it's nice to see that the Belchertown schools and Pathfinder are already teaming up on collaboration, so I'm happy about that. I did reach out to the DPW director. The town beach parking lot is complete.
That was great.
And it's, all the line striping is down.
That only took forever.
She's working on getting an agreement together for Main and North Main Street design. And she did open bids for the Warren Wright Culvert Replacement Project, and we are waiting, I'm hoping to have that information this week so I can award the contract. We also met with the DPW Director, Conservation Administrator, who will be here at the next meeting. She will be here to present, and the grant manager regarding the MCRT rail trail and moving forward with some design work there. So stay tuned on that. We're going to try to get an agreement together to advance that project as well. So segment 1C is the piece in the center that's adjacent to Carriage Grove. So that will have a huge economic impact if we can get that project completed. People will come and walk that loop.
Absolutely.
I did meet with West Mass Development regarding opportunities here in Belchertown. I attended the Sports Haven Mobile Home Park construction meeting. They are wrapping things up right now. There's a few items that are outstanding, but probably won't be advancing for a couple of months. So they're going to be paving tomorrow. The base coat of pavement's going down. They'll do some cleanup, and then I think they're going to demobilize until either we get more money for some additional construction or the equipment that they need for the pump stations is delivered, and then they'll remobilize and get those up and going. So that's positive news. We still need about $1.5 million to $1.8 million, and we did apply for a one-stop grant under the housing to get that going as well.
Okay.
The police chief, fire chief, and I met with Cutchins. That's the school that's on Old Bay Road.
Right.
Regarding some ongoing issues. People who listen to the scanner will know that we've had a significant number of calls down there for false alarms, fire alarms. And they are working to correct that. They're going to be moving some of their pull stations and doing some training with their staff to try to keep that from occurring. So they are taking it seriously. I thought it was a very good conversation, and
I mean, it's more than just pulling off fire alarms. It's escaping. It's property damage stuff.
yeah. That was all discussed. So we're gonna reconvene with them in a couple of months and just see how it's going. And then I met with Quinn Riddle and Associates and Pine Bond to go over the Tadgell report. Did I have anything else? Nope, that was it.
Thank you. Review of weekly mail.
I have one, if that's okay.
Of course.
I just want to bring up that Pathfinder got their $3.5 million for their expansion. We talked about this, and they were signing over the Cold Spring stuff, so that's a huge thing that project is still moving forward, so that's exciting for the town, and think about all that revenue in the sense possibly coming into town because they have to work here and people, traffic coming in, so it's gonna be really good for us.
Yeah.
Comment more on that.
No, actually, that's appropriate. There's probably not a lot more to comment on. They did get their grant. They're going to be starting construction as soon as the Belchertown students are out of the building. Thursday night, I forgot to mention in my report, Thursday night is the Farewell to Cold Spring event.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping everybody can attend. And if you don't, I don't have the time that the event starts. I forget off the top of my head, but I can get it for 5 to 8. Okay. Yeah. And one other thing I wanted to mention is earlier in this meeting, I was looking around the room and I was thoroughly impressed with the number of women we have in leadership roles. This room was full. And that's an exciting thing. So I just wanted to point that out too, that it didn't go unnoticed.
Thank you. Yeah,
Sorry, John.
Yeah, you're important too.
I agree with Steve.
Yeah, I just to make a comment, I unfortunately will not be at the Farewell to Cold Spring, and I'm so disappointed because both my boys went through Cold Spring.
Traffic will be a problem, so if people want to like park in town hall, just the residents, so they
That's a
can
good
walk
idea.
down, that's a good idea, just.
I'm not going either.
I know. Are you gonna be able to go?
I'll tell you all why.
I'm tentative. I'm tentative on it. I have a conflict that I might be able to move around, so
Yeah,
we'll
I'm
see.
gonna be on an airplane, so I really can't.
Oh, so John's gonna be the only
I'll
person.
go.
John,
I'll
represent.
represent my old
Did you
school.
attend Cold Spring?
I did, yes.
Oh, well, then
Perfect.
you're a perfect representative.
I don't have that sentimentality with, because I went to center school, so.
I'm going to preschool graduation tomorrow. It'll be the last preschool graduation, so.
Oh,
So I also was a student at Cold Spring School.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
that's amazing.
I did want to make one other comment on outgoing mail. I was so happy to see that Steve appointed 5 new members to committees in the mail packet. One of them was not really new, but it was an appointment, but it was just really nice to see more than just like one at a time every now and then. So
Yeah.
I hope that's a sign of more volunteers coming forward for our committees.
Yeah, that's nice. Thanks. All right,
Oh,
no other mail? Yeah.
Sorry, there's
No.
all this stuff about alcohol in there. The ABCC,
I think it's gonna be in our next meeting.
gonna be on our next
right?
thing, and then Cold Spring. The club itself is applying for a liquor license? Is that
Yes, the
correct?
owners of the club are going to be applying.
I actually think that makes more sense.
Yeah, I actually talked to that guy. So he's, I don't know how much I can say, but he's sick of like the changeover, so he's just gonna manage the club himself, the actual owner of Cold Spring, hoping that he can stabilize the market and attract it about trying to make it better for all of us. The turnover is not good. He doesn't
Right.
like that
Well,
image.
it's good that he's taking some responsibility for that situation.
Is
So
he
he's-
interested in offering food or just bar right now?
Food, everything, so he's gonna try to make
Oh,
it
wow.
all.
Yeah, because I got a call from the, our liaison from the Amherst Chamber, because they're doing their big fundraiser
Mm-hmm.
soon.
Yeah, soon, and it's at
July.
Cold Spring.
It's at Cold Spring.
Yeah, I
So-
don't think.
No,
they're
no,
gonna
so
have
so we talked about it, and she was like, oh, no, I don't think it'll be ready in time, but, carry on. That's it.
I
That's
know,
all I
we're on a
have.
whole topic, we're not.
So are they gonna have, it's gonna be catered with a.
I don't know how they run that event. I've never been to the Amherst
Can't
Chamber.
they apply for a one-day?
That's what I said. I said, you guys.
We- Well, we recommended that they apply for a one-day so they
Yeah.
could get through their event, and they didn't want to do that. so,
Yeah, so,
But
you
the
know.
ABCC is likely not going to turn their application around in time.
Yeah, no, I don't
So-
think so.
Yeah, so they're either going to have to delay or move, or it's going to be a dry event.
Dry event.
Yeah. I'm glad they did that. I just did the women's golf league intro to golf.
Oh, you
There, it was great. There were literally 60 women every night, and I'm like, they
Not
need a
for
bar. So that should be good. Any other mail items?
Sorry.
No, that's great. All right, individual board reports. Nicole?
We have a few things. So June 2nd, I attended the feedback session to the Franklin County Council of Governments on their economic development topic. One of the things I just kept hearing over and over as one of the feedback comments was making the scoring formulas for economic development grants more lax for rural communities. Treating us differently than, or not comparing us to like a Chicopee or a Holyoke in terms of what's required of us. That was just resounding over and over from all of these other small communities. So I'm glad that I attended. I attended Finance Committee on June 8th, just so you all know. Brian Gibbons remains chair, Mike McMurrow remains vice chair, and Rick Cole remains clerk. And I attended school committee on June 9th. And then yesterday, John and I went to the Stonehouse Museum, and we met with Cliff McCarthy and Allegra, and we looked at some really, really old artifactual documents from just before July 4th, 1776, just to see what we could incorporate into our 250th celebration. And it was just some amazing stuff. So we may have something planned. I do want to make one comment. There was another accident corner of Route 9 in Allen last week. There were no injuries, but I did notice, and Steve, I don't know if this is our DPW or the state, but there is absolutely an area of brush where you cannot see when you're coming up Allen and you're looking up Federal that way or down Federal that way. Right here, you cannot see to get out onto the road.
Yeah, that's Mass DOT, but
Okay. Thanks.
we can get a message over.
That's it.
All right. John?
I had a short week, not a short week, but didn't do a lot. I had a family emergency with a death in the family, so my time was limited. But I did on, I think it was 11 June, I went to see Linda Leduc at the DPW to talk about the transfer station. The new compactor's up and running, just to let the residents know that we're recycling through all that stuff. And then the question came up with people picking up trash on the side of the road, like, oh, can we get bags? Can we get all this stuff? So Lynn and I talked about all this stuff. Well, the problem is you give someone a bag, you don't know what they're putting into it, so they could take the bag home and they're misusing the bag, and then the DPW still has to pick it up. But that money is not tax dollars. So it's a misconception of the town. We're not paying for it. It's an enterprise fund, so it's the people that are buying the dump sticker that are paying for the fund. So it's not, people think it's our money, your money, or I can use the dump anytime I want. That's not true. So I just want to get that misconception out to the public that we're trying, but it's still under operated. So we might have to look at operating fees and stuff. So that stuff is coming up. We renegotiated the contract this year, so there's a new contractor coming into July 1st. So I just want to brief the board with that. So we might be seeing that coming up with the increase of cost somewhere.
Did we lose a mural with that compactor going away?
No, the compactor's still there. The dumpster is separate. The mural's separate than the
Okay.
compactor. But it's an old station. I know Steve can comment on it, but that's something that we're gonna have to start thinking about of our infrastructure, replacing some of that stuff as, what do we
They've been
do?
welding as they go, but
Correct.
that won't last forever.
I think it was built in the 60s?
Oh, no,
No.
it was built in the 80s
80s.
to,
The dump itself has been there.
the dump was, geez, I mean, I was going there as a kid in 1970, but they built a transfer station to remove recyclables from the waste stream to prolong the life of the landfill. And then in 96, Gary actually started the process, and I completed it in 97 to cap the landfill, and now all of our solid waste is shipped out. So it is strictly a transfer station, and it has, in the beginning, it was in the red, and we used some taxation to kind of offset it to keep it going, and then we eventually allowed the fees to catch up to the expenses. So it is a true enterprise fund.
Okay.
It doesn't make money. It breaks even.
Right.
There is a little bit of money that's set aside for capital because it's, again, distinct and separate. I replaced all the containers, probably 20 years ago now. So what we're seeing is some of those containers either need to be repaired or replaced. The compactors are, some of them are, they were all original. The solid waste compactor now has been replaced. And I think the cardboard compactor was replaced. But those are expensive and they take time. But I also want to point out that there's 3 compactors, and Linda and the staff were very good about moving things around. So services were not compromised. A lot of people complained about the compactor being broken, and I can't understand why, because they still took solid waste, they still took plastics, they still took bottles and cans, paper products were still being taken. We just had to put them in different places. But I think they did a really exceptional job at maintaining compliance in moving forward while we were waiting. So the building is my biggest concern right now, that that building is, you know, again, from 1980 or so, and it's in rough shape. You know, we should probably rebuild it. And there's also no public water or facilities there. So, you know, they have a hand wash station that they have to put bottles of water in. And they also have, you know, a porta potty. So, you know, that's what the employees are using. And, you know, mind you, it's a mile from the DPW, so if they had to, you know, restock, they could go get another bottle of water or whatever.
It's not ideal.
So, you know, at some point, it needs to be addressed. I had thought in the past, maybe moving it to the field in front of the DPW would make sense. But that's a pretty big undertaking. You need to get site assignment approval through the DEP. You can't just move a transfer station. You know, you have to be permitted. So it's expensive and it's lengthy, and it could take a lot of time. And we've also talked in the past about the needs of the highway department and whether or not they're going to need to expand and have a bigger facility for storage, and that could cut into that space as well. So these are all conversations that I think we need to be having in the future.
I just bring them up for like, if you think about goals and objectives, so I just want to, and then the other thing that I talked to Linda about, the sports field, with the water low, our sports fields are taking a beating, huge beating. And there's a drought condition, we can't water the fields, so it's actually going to cost us more money because now we have to reseed. So we have to figure out how we can water. So I know some towns are still watering. How come we're not watering? I know it's above us, but I don't know if we can bring the water department in. I don't know if we can find a solution for that. But we're going to lose these fields, and
Yeah.
it's a tax dollars.
And
So
also it's a revenue driver.
correct.
For the
We're
rec.
losing a lot of
So-
things. So I don't know, and I read in these websites like Somerville, for example, is watering their fields still. So how come Belchertown can't water the fields, but Somerville can?
So there's,
I'm just
there's a
throwing the
couple.
idea here. And residents are asking these questions. I don't know the answers.
I'm going to start that with the Commonwealth of Massachusetts sets the watering bans. They tell the water districts across the state when their region is in a water conservation area, the drought conditions are such. So across the state, you'll see different levels of drought based on the rainfall. So that's not a local decision. The water district is told you have to issue a water ban and ban, you know, outside use of water. And that includes car washes. We just had our last car wash. The water district shut us down. They said, let this one go because it was already too late. But after that, it's done. So some communities may not be under a water ban. So even though you see, you know, I was in Amherst over the weekend and they have their signs up, water ban, no outdoor watering. Even though it says the town of Amherst on it or the Belchertown Water District, that came from the state.
Interesting.
The second thing is some of these communities may not be under that water ban, or they may have wells. And we've been trying to put wells in. Kyle put a well in down at the Chestnut Hill Community School for the track, that football field, and he's been able to keep the irrigation going. Wilbraham has a lot of fields that have irrigation wells put in. They're not for drinking, they're irrigation only. The school department had a CPC grant to put a well in at the high school for irrigation, but they were unable to find the right water flows. I don't know what the status of that is, but that was the answer, was to try to start to get away from the water district reliance on that. Because they're under a water permit. They can only withdraw so much water annually. So it's a very complicated thing. And to John's point and Jen's point, it does hurt us.
Yeah.
And there does need to be some long-term solutions. Maybe it's going to be a capital thing in the future where we start putting some wells in.
Right.
You know, it needs to be addressed because what I'm seeing whether or not we agree with global warming, climate change does seem to be occurring. And we're seeing these droughts earlier, longer, and they're having bigger effects on our fields. And, you know, I walked across my lawn Saturday morning and my footprints were in it. You know, I could hear the grass cracking under my feet and I could actually see how that, you know, it was really weird. So what's going on is not good. You know, we need to address it long term.
Yeah, I just want to let the residents know, so we're working it, so there's no shock, but there's another thing for goals and objectives is to talk about that. Last thing, or two things, 10 June I did a veterans meeting, we just talked about what's going on for veteran stuff. Then 14 June was my birthday and I had a wonderful time at the Stonehouse and the farmer's market. So
That does sound fun.
if you haven't gone to the farmer's market, it expanded dramatically, so it's all past the gazebo now. And there are still more vendors coming in as more vegetables and stuff are growing, so they predict it to be even bigger as the season goes on.
I saw that, it's impressive.
It's huge for our town.
Is
So
it every single Sunday?
every Sunday
Every
until
Sunday.
October-ish, yep.
That's great. Okay. Jen?
Where am I in time? Oh, I cannot go on Thursday. I apologize because I'm getting a big award. It's very exciting.
What is the big award?
Congratulations.
Being honored by the Quabbin Art Association. They're celebrating their 10-year anniversary, and as one of the founders of that organization, I am invited to be honored. I'm very excited.
Congratulations.
Congrats. You didn't tell us.
Huh?
No, you should have sent invites out.
It's very cute. But Friday is also the first food truck Friday of the season. Remember, they are the third Friday of June, July, and August. And that will be on the Common. And then the Pride events are happening on Saturday. I'm sure I'm missing other things there. I want to mention, I didn't realize this, but tomorrow there is a Lamson Brook Board of Directors meeting at 4:30. And you need to email the woman to get the link, but they're open to the public. But I tried to go to their last meeting. I'm only mentioning this because not a lot of you folks know much about this, but I tried to go to their May meeting and they didn't have quorum. So if you're interested in learning anything about what they're doing or not doing, feel free
So
to
they're
try to
not-
get the link.
They're not required to post.
They do post,
Okay.
but in order to get the link,
Isn't that part of
Can you send
posting?
us an email to that
I
person's
mean,
contact?
it's on our website.
Oh, it's on our website, okay.
It says that it's remote and you have to email this woman. She will send it to you. Like,
No, I'm just wondering what the
I
appropriateness of that is.
don't know why it's a state. She works for the state.
Okay.
What is,
I think it's to prohibit unknown entities from crashing the meeting.
Okay.
Is the only guess that I have. But if you email her, she will send it to you. And she may send it to you like 10 minutes before the meeting starts.
interesting.
Just FYI. Let's see. June 24th, the Creative Economy Committee is going to be tabling at the Amherst Chamber event, which is like a expo introduction to things. So a group of them decided to go and they're going to table. And so I committed also to going, I think. Yes. Okay, so June 24th at the Amherst Chamber event, which is taking place at Boltwood? The Inn at Boltwood. And I last week met with Pat Berry at the McPherson Garden, and I've already discussed some of the things that she is interested in having done with Steve, mainly mowing outside of the stone walls and the taking down of a tree that's in the corner where kids are, or somebody's taking rocks and like it's a little hidden. So to prevent concealing bad behaviors. But anyways, that's TBD. And then I had a whole bunch of other interesting ideas that came out of that conversation, including getting them more involved with the like Wallace folks, because to Steve's point, you know, we have these groups that are maintaining our cultural assets on a volunteer basis, and we have maintenance funding for some of these projects, but included in the cultural district. So anyways, stay tuned for more of my crazy outside of the box thinking on that topic.
It's a good idea for goals and objectives too.
Yeah, goals and objectives. When are those signs going out? I'm staring at this sign all meeting.
I don't have an update.
Okay.
Anything else?
Probably.
Probably. Okay. The only thing I was going to share is I also have had a slow week and a half because I've been recovering from some medical stuff. But I did have the opportunity this week to meet with the chair of the Finance Committee, and then the chair of BCTV and the chair of the school committee independently, just to get to know each other a little bit. And that was really helpful to talk a little bit about some of their goals for the year also and how we can work together. And then I did meet with the library director and the board of trustees chair. And one thing that is coming from that, of course, also is understanding all of the work that the library building needs, and that, of course, we're going to start having the library back again. And I think you said as soon as the next meeting for them to come and share what they've been up to and the goals for the future. Because it's such an important entity in town, and it's good that we're getting updates about everything they're doing. And I think that's about it. So we do have a parking lot. Do we need to discuss future items, or is this just for our awareness?
Just unless you want to move something, we can't have a discussion about them because they're
Right.
future items for discussion.
Future
but
items
If
for
you want me to
discussion.
move something up, I can.
Is this comprehensive? Because I feel like there's other things that were on the parking lot that
I'm
aren't on the
sure
parking
there's
lot.
Yeah.
more.
It seems like a shortened list, and now I think back and I can't think of other things that I've asked to go in there. I'll have to look at my notes.
We have the list.
Okay. Are you able to put it on the?
I'll talk to the chair about what to move back on.
Okay.
I guess one item I'm thinking about is the calendar and scheduling of the tri-board meetings. Does that need to be a discussion item, or is that something we can just?
No, we can put it on. Yeah.
So are
But-
we, go ahead, finish your thought.
No, let's talk about it. I'll find the lists, and then you and I can
Okay.
go over how we're gonna handle those.
So were we saying that there were items in the parking lot that got removed?
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Was it on a previous agenda? Do you remember seeing it, or something we
Well, I
just
just
talked
want to
about?
understand, because why are things coming off when we ask for them to be on?
I honestly don't recall. Can
I
you
don't
think
have
of
an
item?
answer.
I don't know. I just know there used to be a different agenda format that worked really well, and then it changed. And maybe that's something you can work with Steve
Yeah.
and work with the past. I don't really know, but and
Mhm.
make it easy read.
Sure. Yeah, if anyone happens to find an example of that agenda that they preferred, it'd be helpful if you could share what date that was. I can look at it.
Yeah, I can look back.
It'll be a good task for you.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that task. Thank you. It's important.
We could put it on the goals and objectives
Goals and objectives.
conversation.
You're the chair, so it's your agenda.
Was this something that in your tenure you saw changes, or
No.
before your time?
Before my time, it seemed like
Okay.
I just want to know where to look, because I
it just
go
seemed
back.
like this is so big now, and like, I think of agenda it should be like one page, I guess. And some of the stuff is, I don't know.
Well, like,
Right.
one of the, we're not talking about
Yeah,
this right
sorry.
now. We're
Right,
gonna,
these are
this is a future item
future
for
items.
Future
discussion.
item.
Can I just finish my thought on this
Yes.
parking lot? So I just want to make sure that if something is getting removed from the parking lot, that we are all aware
Right.
and in agreement. Like, understood that the chair creates the agenda for the upcoming meeting, but I don't think it should be at the chair's discretion, and I'm not saying you did this, but I don't think it should be at the chair's discretion to remove stuff out of the parking lot.
Yeah, once in the parking lot until it gets crossed
Right,
off and
yeah,
put onto the
so-
agenda.
Right.
That's the whole
Agreed.
idea of the parking
That's
lot.
the
Yeah.
parking lot. Yeah, I agree. I guess if anyone can identify what items they think are missing, we'll get them back in there.
Okay.
Okay.
I
mean,
can
what
pull
is
the
at your
list.
discretion is if you want to leave something in the parking lot for the rest
Forever.
of the year,
Sure.
that's totally
You can-
in your
yes.
purview.
I have the ability to impound.
Yes.
Got it. But no, I want to know what's missing, so thank you for bringing it
Yeah.
up.
I can't remember what I ate last night for dinner. I don't know if I'm gonna remember what was in the parking
You
lot.
you
I
don't
guess I'll
have
go-
you don't
I'll
have
go
to.
back.
I have the
them.
lists.
Okay,
Okay.
perfect.
Thank you. So much.
Yes.
All right, so questions from the press. I think Melina is still lingering on. No, nothing, Melina?
Nothing.
Okay. All right, then, do I hear a
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, 4-0.
8:59.